Hey guys, it's Dr. Eveangel Savage over at Audacity Group Social Enterprise, and I am your social enterprise strategist and angel investment readiness coach. And I teach people to identify, initiate, and implement strategies of distinction for investment readiness. Hello, Kobe Morgan. Thank you for joining. Thank you, and thank you for sharing with your followers. Amen. I love the hearts get going right away. That just does my heart some kind of good. I am going to be, yesterday I attended a session with the lovely Expand Your Heart, Sarah Aderson. You know, every Tuesday she does her angel heart sessions where she shares her angel cards with you. And I love angels. I know that the Bible tells us that we have them and we just have to dispatch them. And I discovered yesterday that my angel is Metatron, and that was like an amazing discovery to me after looking that up. And he's like a really strong angel, really strong angel. And so I had a reading yesterday, and the reading was stay right where you are, okay? And so I always adhere to what my angels tell me, because I feel like, you know, when we are obedient to what we have been instructed to do, then we are likely to prosper. So I'm going to be obedient and stay right where I've been for a moment. And in this season, I am talking about coming into knowing, coming into who you are. Hey, baby Bobby, thank you for joining. How do you look for yours? There is angelhaven.com. Sarah shared that with us yesterday. It's called angelhaven.com. You can put it in the chat room just in case someone else might want to know. But my angel's name is Metatron. So I'm staying where he told me. He says stay. Period. Stay. And so lately I've been talking about purpose. And I've been talking about my help and my desire to help people, and how we come into the knowing of our purpose. And so I'm going to tell you a story today. And this story is about the late Randy B. Royal. He was a giant. The late Bishop Randy B. Royal, who was my mentor, my spiritual father, my pastor for 25 years. And he passed away recently, about a year ago. And we suffered a big loss. But the one thing about my pastor is he always gave an assignment, you know, and he knew that you were coming into something. He always nurtured our gifts. He always cultivated us to being who he knew that we could be. So early on in my relationship with my pastor, you know, as a spiritual father, he took care of my family. You know, he saw us through. He helped us to triumph over so many hurdles and to come into our knowing, you know, come into who we are supposed to be, which is, by the way, the name of my scope today, coming into knowing. Well, over the last 2 days, I've been thinking about that. You know, I've been thinking about him, and I've been thinking about my purpose. I've been thinking about what I need to be doing. And then the angel, Metatron, says stay. So I just recently wrote a book, and the scope is not about the book. The scope is about the purpose and how that baton was passed. So in my community, locally, I have been on the ground for 20-something years, working very vigilantly for youth in the community and parents and families. So I was a family advocate. So I worked with children, I worked with juveniles, and I worked with their parents, because you have to have a holistic approach to things. That was my service. That was my service to my community. And over the years, you know, since I've been studying for my PhD, I kind of got away from that and stepped up to another level of indirect services to continue to provide services. So I got to thinking about my pastor when he passed away. Hello, you're back. Thank you for sharing. He passed away, and he he usually has a team, right? He usually has a team, people that take him home, people that, what do you call that when you chaperone your pastor? What do you call it? Hey, Devin. There's, your warriors, your spiritual protection, those people who protect pastors, right? I forget what they're called. Hey, somebody help me. But it's those people that embody them, those people that surround him to protect him, hey, stylist DJ Blaze, we're talking about coming into knowing. Thank you for sharing with your followers. I love you guys. But he told me recently he shared, before he passed away, he asked me to take him home. And I said, wow, that's strange. He usually doesn't ask, me to take him home, because Bishop has a team of people, right? Bishop has a team of people who take him to and fro, and people who protect him, a spiritual team. He has all of these. But this particular day, my daughter and I were out and about, and he said, take me home. And I said, what? I looked at him, I was extremely perplexed. And so I did. I took him home, and he said he had cooked dinner. He usually have people at the house. His family's always at the house. So I said, okay, good, so I can get me some food too, because he's a good cook. He was a great cook. Well, my pastor had a stroke, and he had expressive aphasia, so his language was different, so I could hardly understand the things that he was saying. So I asked my pastor, I said, Bishop, I said, what's going to happen? Hi, Chris Coon, thank you for joining. I said, what's going to happen now? Who's going to be the voice in our community now that you can't speak? Who's going to do that? Because it was a natural concern of mine, because I had been thinking about it ever since he had the stroke, because he couldn't communicate the way that he normally wanted to. His message was, he knew what he wanted to say, but when it comes out, the mind and this wasn't working. This and this wasn't working together. So, hey, Jeremy, 1994, thank you for joining. So my pastor, in trying to answer the question, he couldn't communicate it with me. But what he did was he went into the other room and he brought back a little figurine. This little figurine was of a black person, because I asked him specifically, who's going to be the voice now, Bishop? Who's going to be the voice in our community? Well, lo and behold, he passed it to me. And I didn't even understand it then. This was almost a year ago. I really, 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 truly did not understand what my pastor was saying when he handed me that figurine. I was completely thrown. And so yesterday I was thinking about that, and one of my friends from the church, we call her Iron Lady. And she's a wailing woman, so she's very young, but she's always wailing for teens, people, because she can feel their spirits when they're going through these battle wars, these spiritual wars. And so she came on this morning and she said, where are my eagles? Where's my eagles? Where's my Eagle Nation? So when I saw that this morning, I was like, oh my God, it clicked. It all clicked for me. And so I went in and I said, eagles ascending, because eagles fly real high. And that's how we encourage one another. She said, it's hump day. We aren't going to just push. We're going to pull through. And I said, ascending. That was my comment. And so I got to thinking about that. Oh my God, that is it tugged at my heart, right? So I got right on my Facebook. And because I have an assignment at my church, and the assignment at my church that my current pastor gave me, who is his nephew, said, I want you to use your gifts. I want you to use your gifts at the church. I want you to do whatever you think is necessary, because at that time they didn't know how to use my gifts, because they were very different. They weren't ordinary mission. It wasn't ordinary ministry. But what I understand is that this is a gift that God has allowed me to come off of my job with. And I made this connection. I'm like, oh my God. I made this connection. My pastor asked me to use these skills at the church. So every month I have a seminar at the church, a free seminar. Last week we launched it. Last month we launched the the plan for economic development. It's the economic development series, and I do this series for free for the public. So when I did the first one, it went global. We went global on Periscope and allowed everybody to come into the room, to one who wanted to be a part of it. So then, like as I was growing over the last couple of weeks with Pass the Biz, and all of that interest grew, and I met more people. Following isn't all that big deal to me, because organic is better, because I just want the people who God wants me to be in front of, right? That's more important to me, because I want to be able to truly impact a life, right? So at any rate, I was working on a book at the same time. So I wrote this book, Clients Everywhere, Will Your Name Come to Mind? Clients everywhere, will your name come to mind? So I thought about the book. I thought about the marketing. I thought about everything. And I thought about why and what its purpose is, and how it affected me, and how I was literally able to come off my job with this book. With the behaviors that I practiced in the book. So God he just sent a message. He resonated in my spirit this morning. He said, okay, this is what I want you to do with this book. This is what I want you to do. I want you to share this with the world. I want you to go back to your home base first. Start there. Because when you can impact your backyard, then you can impact the world. Like, I already have a global presence, but he wants me to take this book back to my local community, because they're on the ground, and they're somebody that I need to grow, because God has already given me this assignment with my church. So I was like, wow, what a great connection. So I went on Facebook and I shared with them, and then my message was truly only for my Philippi family, only for my church family. And I talked with them about the importance, and I talked with them about getting the book, and let's get in a group coaching together, because you try to figure out ways where you can meet the needs of the greatest amount of people. And the greatest amount of people is always going to be in a space where you can connect with people right where they are. That's the whole concept. My dissertation was on mobile social support for addiction relapse, meeting people where they are, crushing barriers, crushing access to service, crushing all of that stuff to be able to meet the needs of the masses, right? So I went, and it was just such a divine connection that God really put all together, how you come into knowing what your purpose is, how you come into knowing what your purpose is. Although I may be in a global space, I have a need to go back, take several steps backwards, so that I can help them with their slingshots. I can help them slay. I can help them slay the giants that have kept them from meeting their goals. So, and how we can grow as a body, because to grow people is, you got to first start from the ground up. You have to start at the grassroots level, and I always advocated from the grassroots level. So in my mission is to impact my church, which is a large community, with the principles that I share in this book. And the only thing they're going to be responsible for doing is sacrificing a lunch to get the ebook. Sacrifice a lunch, get the ebook, bring it to class with you. Bring it to the meeting with you. Bring it, and let's put these things into place, right? So the book is ready. It's out there. It's ready to be purchased. But the great thing is that all you have to do is, if you want to be a part of this private group, because it's going to be private, because you can't take on but so much. You got to be mindful that you have to be selective. You have to be careful, because you don't want to be overwhelmed. You want to be an effective at your ministry, right? So my goal is to, hey, you guys, go buy the book. You buy the book. You sacrifice lunch for $6.97. Go get the book, and then I'm going to add you to the group. And inside the group is where I'm going to answer all of your questions. And then, they have me on the ground. They have me on the ground at the church where I'll be teaching once a month, and they'll still be implementing these strategies. So the whole point, hey, Selling Made Easy, thank you for joining. So the whole point is to break the barriers, to help people right where they are, to provide access to services in a way that's most effective. So for those of you who have never met me and you are here for the very first time, my name is Dr. Eveangel Savage. I am your social enterprise strategist and investment readiness coach. And I am talking about coming into knowing and how you begin to understand what your true purpose is. And I was sharing with everyone here about, the epiphany, the epiphany that I had about my ministry in terms of my church and how everything I'm doing is going to impact the lives of the people that I serve there. So for those of you who are out there, and again, I believe in, stomping out barriers and providing access, increasing protection, and reducing risk. You have the opportunity too. You have the opportunity to join me in that group. It's a free group. But we're going to be talking about these skills that are in this book. That's going to be our thing right now. That's what my angel told me. My angel told me to stay. So I'm staying right there. My angel told me to stay. So I'm staying right there. I'm going to stay right here until I've helped these people. This group that's in front of me. I'm going to stay there until I help the group that's in front of me. And then I will move on. But because when you are teaching people to implement practices, that requires more time. So if you are somebody who wants to create your digital stamp, you want to create your empire, you have not yet begun that process, or you don't really understand the behaviors that you really should be acting on in order to come off of your job, if that's what you want to do, or in order to get your next job, if that's what you want to do, or to write your next book, if that's what you want to do, or to help your child go into business, if that's what you want to do. If you are not there yet, if you have not created your digital stamp, then there's 6 fundamental behaviors that I discuss in this book. And these behaviors are so critical to creating your digital stamp. They are a testament. They are a testament to why I was able to come off of my job. I was 2.6 ounces, and today I have a PhD. And I share that story as well, because that's going to be my next book, The Traffic Jam in My Mind. I was 2.6 ounces, left for dead, and today I'm a PhD. So God has given me a story. God has given me a testimony, and He's given me a talent to share with all of you. So that's really all I came on here to say today, was just to tell you how you can come into your knowing if you sit and listen. But you have to pay attention, and He'll remove things too, especially if you're going in the wrong direction. And because I serve Him and I know that He's a mighty God, He's not going to let nothing bad happen to me. He won't, because all things good and perfect come from Him. All things good and perfect. So I encourage you, if you're out there today, if you don't have your digital stamp and you're still trying to figure this thing out, you don't have to figure it out anymore. And you don't even have to pay a whole lot to make it happen. Just buy the book. $6.97. Buy the book and join my coaching program over there for free. That's all. Buy the book. Go over there and join my coaching program for free. And we'll walk this thing out together. We'll walk it out together. That's how you do it. You can walk it out with me and my church family. Okay? Walk it out with us. For those of you who don't know me, again, this is Dr. Eveangel Savage. It's time for my siesta, because I'm sleepy. And I am your social enterprise strategist. I teach people to identify, initiate, and implement strategies of distinction for investment readiness. You guys have a wonderfully blessed day. Thank you.